So hello and welcome to our sixth VDK Community Meeting. This meeting is to get to know our community, to see each other, to check what are the updates. Like once a month, we're making this meeting to sync and to present maybe something that's new. My name is Agita, and I'm the community manager of VDK, so I'm going to lead the meeting. And I'll share my screen to show what's on the agenda. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So we'll do a little introduction of the people who are here. Then I'm going to introduce the project a bit and show the repository. And Anthony is going to share the latest release. And then I'm going to demo the GitHub Star History data job that I created to track my own work, kind of. And then we have two discussion topics and maybe potentially introducing two pull request reviewers. And the second topic is VDK catchphrase, because we're at the moment kind of not clear with that as well. And I'll start sharing so we can quickly introduce ourselves. So I kind of already did that. I'm the community manager. I'm here organizing these meetings and doing some social media noise. Collecting stars. So who's next?
I can go next. Hi, my name is Daco, and I'm a VMware employee, and have been part of the data pipelines team internally, which developed the VDK, and am at the moment responsible for the internal deployment of VDK. And that's it.
Thank you, Daco.
Stanley, you want to go?
No, you go first.
Sure. Hi, my name is Gabriel. I'm one of the developers working on VDK, and it's great to be here. And yeah, Stanley.
Okay, so I'm Stanley. I'm also part of VMware and also contributing to the VDK open source. So that's me.
Hello, my name is Eva, and I'm a contributor to Versatile Data Kit. I work on design and implementation mainly.
Okay, I'm Antoni. I'm a technical editor style data kit. Very short.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Deiko, and I'm working on VDK's Jupyter integration.
I'm Paul. I'm a VMware employee as well. I've just started, and I'm a developer working on VDK as well.
Nice. So if there is anyone new to VDK, you also can unmute yourself, maybe show yourself and say something. Okay. So I'm going to go back to sharing. So basically, our project lives here in this repository. I'm just going to share it quickly in the notes. That's Versatile Data Kit. We have added actually a couple of images here if someone hasn't seen them. Kind of the image before and after, or without Versatile Data Kit and with Versatile Data Kit, where all the data sources are connected and kind of going through one ingestion tool and transformation tool, and then it improves basically maintenance, automation, and collaboration. And data team is just working on their part, and infrastructure and operations team is implementing the kind of control service. So basically, Versal Data Kit consists of two components: data SDK that provides a tool for data extraction, transformation, and loading that I'm going to show today, and the control service is allowing to create, deploy, and manage the data jobs in Kubernetes. Yeah, so actually, VDK is covering the whole data life journey or life cycle, from ingestion, transformation, and export. And here is like installation guide, and actually in the page we have also installation of Versal Data Kit control service, which is covered here with all the requirements for that. What else? We also have some examples in the repository, and one of them I'm going to demo today. And here's the list of the examples, and they consist of steps. So this is one data job, and the data job is consisting of steps. Let's say here are like 18 steps. All of them are going to be executed in the sequence, like of alphabetical sequence. So this is the sequence that they're going to be executed in. And each step can be SQL or Python. Let's see, also there is a Python. So it can be both, one or the other, or both, and they will be triggered anyway in the exact sequence as they are created here. And these examples can be easily just, if you pull the repository, you can just run them and see how they work. Some of them are very short and quick and simple, like the REST API example, for example. Delete table, create table, and then ingest. Here's the ingestion part, how it looks like with VDK. So yeah, that's about that, and I'm going to show a little bit more of it a bit later. Anthony, are you ready to say something about the release?
Yeah. As we do around the community meeting, we do basically a release announcement with more of an update on what has been done in the last month. You can see our releases if you go to the main page and click releases, and we can see the latest one, which I created today, 0.7. And I'll do a quick summary of some of the major features that can be included in the release, user-facing features. For the first one is related to plugin development. Basically, until now in the plugin, you couldn't know if you couldn't know if a plugin hook being executed is part of the initial data job or part of a template. If you recall from previous meeting, template is really a data job being executed by another data job. And now plugin can recognize it and see exactly what template is being executed. In the example plugin, finalize job, that I give an example, it can get the plugin name. It's a new state variable that's being added called template name. You can get the template name, and for example, if it's a template, it can say send telemetry for the template. Otherwise, it's a job, so you can say telemetry for the job. The next new addition is a new configuration option called work level module. There are some issues with too many variables walks and or not enough variables walks, and we want to be able to enable user to override walks per module, for example, just for a single module. instead of they still, as now you can override the walks for using minus debug run. For example, this will set all walks to debug. If you want to do it just for a single model, you can do it. There you can export walk level model. For example, VDK API is set to debug, custom model is set to debug, or you can do it in the configuration file of the job. It allows more versatility of the walking configuration. Another new addition is a new plugin backend for properties. Sometimes maybe you don't have, now we have the main backend for properties is based on the control service. There is a properties REST API, which enable you to store secrets, configuration, or state in a safe manner. But if you want to do it just locally, for example, if you want to do just a demo session, like Git is going to do in a bit, which was the prompt for the feature, and you just want to store secret configuration in the one, you do not need the entire control service, you can use it. It can be also used to test locally. I know there have been some users sometimes are afraid to test it, or if they want to test or run their job locally, but the properties are pointing toward the control service, they can accidentally update the state of the deployed job, which might not be desirable. It depends. So for example, if you want to change the properties backend, it happens very easily. You just go properties default type fs properties client or specific in job config init. I'm pretty sure that Git will demo this. There's also cookie cutter is a way to create a skeleton for a plugin very easily. So if you want to create a new plugin, I do not know if Eva was the one who created this plugin fs properties. I'm not sure if she used the cookie cutter, but for example, you want to create a new plugin, especially plugin that lives in the VDK plugins directory. It's very easy. You just click cookie cutter, and it will ask you the plugin name. Let's say, let's call it awesome plugin. It will assume some module name because that's in the plugin, some description, and the whole directory structure is created. And now you have a fully working plugin with everything that's necessary and some sample implementation even. Which will hopefully would make it easier to getting started when creating new plugins. It has a plugin entry, like a dummy plugin, example test that you can extend, the plugin CI is configured, and set apply. And lastly, we added also ability to cancel remaining job steps. I'm not gonna discuss in detail since I believe Mungjo is also planning to show a demo on this. And that's basically a summary of the major new features. You can see all the features in the release. There are some bug fixes. Paul also is a new contributor in the last month. Oh, thanks.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, okay, let's go back to the agenda. So yeah, a little bit of my background, because I think it's kind of relevant to my demo, is that I came to Versal DataKit like 6 months ago approximately, and I have no experience in data engineering or data whatsoever. Like my SQL knowledge is from university, and literally it was something like a challenge for me. And yeah, I come from DevOps background, so I have some technical knowledge, but also Python is not something that I have been doing professionally. My knowledge, like my experience literally in Python is doing Python challenge. You know, I did 4 levels of Python challenge before this. So yeah, wait, this is my history of SQL and Python knowledge before I started this data job. My data job is on the branch at the moment, so it's not actually merged to main, but maybe after this demo, it's gonna get there. So yeah, and this is my job. Here is, I wrote a little README, but it's not finished actually yet. So eventually it's gonna look something like this, like a GitHub Star History with count and date, how it was evolving. This is a history of our own repository. And here I just want to show quickly the properties file, because I'm not going to display it because literally I have the token there. So yeah, I'm setting in this file my Git token that can be configured in settings, like actually GitHub settings tokens, and a token can be created, and repository path. Literally, in my case, it's VMware versatile data kit. So it's necessary to have the repository and access to it. And now I'm gonna go to my terminal. Okay, so my keyboard is a little bit fucked, so sometimes I type many letters. Okay, so let's go through the data job itself. So what I'm starting with is just dropping the table in order to be able to run the job again without any issues, so I don't create anything new. Then I'm creating this table. So in order to create this history chart, actually, I just need 2 things. I need the start time and the count in my table. So I can literally build the graph. And then getting the data is actually in Python step. So my 3rd step is this. I'm reading the properties, so I'm getting the token and repo path from the file 00 properties, and then I'm using actually for this Py GitHub library that is basically created to automate GitHub API in Python, which is kind of very nice. Then setting users, getting the user list, and like length of this list, and then I'm just appending to data to send the start time and the count. And here I am placing them in this in the column start time and count. And my table is GitHub Star History. So this is everything I did to get that data available. Okay, and then actually to build the chart to display it, I'm having this Streamlit dashboard, which just setting the title, creating the subheader, and then I'm creating the SQLite database connection in order to read the data in, and then I'm fetching the data just by select statement from this connection. Then I'm converting it into just a date. Actually, I don't think that this is specifically necessary, but I'm actually just removing the time zone and the time of when the person started the repository, and just having the date. And I'm creating the chart with like x-axis is going to be when the person started the repository, and y is just a count. So also, in order to change the color a little bit. I modified the color of the line, and to make it more readable, I also added the labels date and start count on the respective axis. And then, yeah, with Streamlit, I'm plotting the chart. So actually, yeah, putting the chart there. And eventually, in order actually to run it, this is the command Streamlit run this script, because there is a possibility to make it part of the data job sequence, but I decided not to do it because it's kind of hacky, and there is actually no way at the moment to do it in a proper way, because it's yeah, they are changing somehow this part all the time, and I didn't find like a way that would satisfy my I don't know, like my vision of how things should be done. So yeah, and then in the config ini, because I'm using this plugin that Eva just created, actually in config ini, I'm okay. I had to add some things, not these things. Okay, so wait. Okay, now I deleted a bit too much. Okay, so what I added, okay, so in order to use the SQLite database, I have these two lines for the ingestion method and the default database type. And here I have this properties default type FS properties client. It's the one that Tony, I think, just showed as part of his release announcement. So literally in the repository, the file is correct, and actually I even took out some more things. So yeah, it's kind of more clear here. And yeah, so in the requirements, I added all the libraries and everything that I'm using for this, and yeah, basically, so it's clear, yeah, what are the requirements. I just wanted to quickly also mention that scheduling is done in VDK in this way. I just didn't remove this line because I think it's a really nice way to, I mean, part of the configuration can also add scheduling, and yeah, I think it's super simple to schedule things with VDK, which is, yeah, just a delight. Okay, so yeah, now I'm gonna run the job, or maybe there are some questions. Like if there are some questions, I can answer now or just run. Okay, so VDK is already installed for me locally, and so okay, here are the possible commands that we can run, and now I'm going to just run this job. To run the job, I need to just simply do this. Okay, and here it's visible that all the steps have been successful. I had some warning there, but it's because Streamlit cannot start without the Streamlit run command, which is expected. And now, yeah, now I can do also one thing in order to check how my data looks like. I can just run okay, I will check. I forgot how. So yeah, okay. So I select everything from GitHub Star History, and it's going to be, yeah, literally it looks like this. So it is like the date when the person started the repository, and just a count of stars, like this is the first one and so on. So yeah, so we had the first star on 12th of August 2021, and the last one we just had yesterday at this time. So we have 179 stars. And now to run Streamlit app, I need to copy this. Yeah, because of course it's not here. Okay, and now I can check my dashboard here, and there it is. And yeah, so this is the whole history, starting from the first star, and yeah, we created a nice line for me, and yeah, that's it. Any questions now? Okay, so if there are no other questions, I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment, and we can jump to the next topic, which is yeah, having 2 reviewers for a pull request. And I think, yeah, Eva maybe knows about this more, and maybe yeah, I don't know, you can just
Yeah, hello everyone again. We wanted to have a discussion on this topic. For so long, we have this unwritten guideline within the team that each pull request you should try and find and gather at least 2 people to review it. And now our team is extending. That's good news. And it's probably a good time to actually standardize this a bit. And what we're going to win with introducing this as a rule? We're going to improve the code quality on one hand, and we're going to improve the team context on repository changes on another hand. What do you think? Is it easy for you to to receive code reviews so far? Maybe someone who did post pull request recently. Because maybe you rely on some type of notification automation. You know, everyone within the community is receiving a notification when new pull request is created. So that is useful. This is how I usually understand when someone have created a pull request. However, another approach that I personally find useful is to ping in the Slack channel if I need something quickly in terms to unblock someone or have a quick review. I usually send a link to the pull request, and my personal experience is that the colleagues usually jump to help at the comfortable time. So the downside of standardizing the 2 reviewers would be maybe with timing, you would need a little more time in order to merge. However, we may look to the pull request as a relatively large pull request or small changes. And with the small changes, usually something would require a minute or two, and something can slip very fast, by the way. If only one review is required, someone just takes a minute and reviews it, and it's on its way to the release. So for me, it would be useful to have a context on smaller changes, and it's not that time consuming anyway. On the bigger changes, the industry standard here is about 200 to 400 lines of code, maybe. 2 reviewers is actually the good approach because 4 eyes is going to take a look at the code, and usually it's advised to have different reviewers in terms of seniority level, and that is a benefit for the code quality because you can see different your changes from a different point of view. And yeah, I think adding this to the contributing guide currently that describes the process of creating a pull request and elaborating in the GitHub wiki is going this type of to reviewers requirement is going to be beneficial for the team members personally in terms of building a skill set and getting track of the changes within the project and improving the code quality. What do you think?
One thing I'm curious about is whether is it possible to configure the GitHub repo to only require 2 reviewers on PRs above a certain size? Or is it more of a toggle? So let's say that if we have a PR that changes more than 100 lines of code, it requires two reviewers, otherwise it only requires 1.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see something like that. However, if it's a small merge request, it's going to be easier, quicker, and for every reviewer anyway. And I don't know, what do you think? At least my impression is that when you create a small pull request, it gets much faster, quite faster, and it's easier for people to take a look quickly and approve a quick merge request in that matter. So. Easy the pipeline on smaller pull requests is, I don't know, it's not going to save us much time, I think.
No, in general, I'm very much in favor of having 2 reviewers on each PR. I think there's a lot of benefits. Just it needs to be coupled together with, I guess, some a focus on a culture of proactive reviewing. So maybe we can have I think we did that at one point and then we stopped, have a part of our daily where we just go over pull requests, and then we go over which ones require reviews, and then we distribute those out to people so that there's more of an emphasis on people doing reviews. Because I've had PRs kind of hang for days sometimes waiting for review. And yeah, if we require 2 reviewers, it means that getting a review to pass will be even more time consuming.
Yeah, maybe a notification on still pull request, some type of configuration and notification.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That still is going to be useful in that matter. And also,
yeah, sorry, I want to second Gabi's point. If we can come up with some form of SOA for review requests, I'm perfectly fine to extending it even for reviewers. But if we have to wait for the second reviewer more than 1 day, that doesn't work for us.
Yeah, well, the industry point of view so far, for example, some from Microsoft publication or some independent bloggers they usually tend to state that based on research, 2 reviewers is the most optimal way to go for any pull requests that is of a reasonable size, below 400 lines. So 4 reviewers might be, not viable too much. However, I'm opting for 2 reviews on this one.
I have a suggestion. I think we can. I mean, I'm kind of making a whole point, but I think you can just try it out. Like we can try it out and then see. Maybe let's say next community meeting, we just bring this topic again and discuss if it works, if it doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, then we can just kick it. So I think it's just a part of continuous improvement process, like when you try things and then you see if they work. If there is nobody that is really strongly against doing this.
All right.
There isn't.
Yeah, sounds reasonable. Let's try this. To be honest, I believe that if given pull request is getting stale, actually, if one is interested into pushing this further, actually, he will start chasing people around. So I believe that for the important pull requests, it won't be a problem. It will overcome this potential issue of slipping some approvals. And I also want to second the idea that basically I believe with the bigger team, we need more context sharing and to ensure that the quality is in a good shape. So I really believe that the 2 approvers is a good point to start with.
Okay, so
yeah, let's try it.
Okay, great.
Okay. So nice. Okay, so yeah, the last topic for today is something that I'm working actually on, and I'm gonna share my screen because I'm prepared a little bit of justification of why I'm doing this. But I have asked you before already to give me some, let's say, keywords that VDK can be explained with, because I'm working on search engine optimization, and I did a bit of research, and what it says is that kind of this about section let's say the catchphrase is the first thing that Google is taking into account when people are searching for anything. So if it's on GitHub, then this is the most important part of it. And at the moment, our catchphrase is Versatile Data Kit. VDK is an open source framework that enables anybody with basic SQL and Python knowledge to create their own data pipelines. And there are a couple of issues that I see with this. And first is that it's a bit too long. It's a little bit more than catchphrase, but we could fix that with just cutting this part and saying, okay, open source framework that enables anybody with basic SQL or Python knowledge to create their own data pipelines. The second issue I see with this is that then we're kind of emphasizing that VDK is just SQL and Python data pipelines framework, which I think it's not our unique value proposition, and I think it's not even possibly unique value. I think maybe there are other tools. I'm quite sure. I think that there are other tools that are doing kind of SQL or Python data pipelines. So my point is that it would be really nice to come up with something that is speaking about the unique value of VDK. For example, in this message, we are completely missing the whole part of having the control service. So it's not mentioned there, so it's completely missing. And when the people are searching for something like our control service, they would probably miss our project entirely. it could be. So yeah, it needs to be unique, clear, and yeah, possibly short and sweet. And I collected some examples from other data pipelines projects. And yeah, you can see here they are like the examples are high performance observability data pipeline or declarative continuous deployment for Kubernetes, or easiest way to coordinate your data flow. Like something very short. Not all of them seem to me good in the sense of like unique value, but still they are kind of something that I would like to end up with VDK. And I'm going to also put this message into the banner that is visible when we link VDK. So Google is going to read it, and then people who are searching for it, they can see our repository. So yeah, like, I don't know, for example, this is very keyword-based thing. They are just not literally using only keywords and one and here. And promote the kind of data pipelines tool, the only that I found that has like a longer message and more than 2 stars terabyte, and they're saying open source ELT platform that helps you replicate your data in warehouse lakes and databases. And it kind of seems to me less readable than anything above. So yeah, the question is now, what do we think could be, what do we think, or how do we think we could put like a keyword for the unique value proposition of VDK? And yeah.
Is it the slogan we are talking about?
Yeah, it's like a slogan. Yeah, it's called catchphrase, but it's literally slogan, and it's like a really short message of what is VDK, and it's gonna appear in the about and yeah, kind of, yeah, whenever I link, also it's suggested to, let's say, like link the anchor text to our link wherever I'm promoting it. So yeah, that's the purpose.
Do you agree that binding to a particular technology is not the value proposition we do? I think the value of Versatile Data Kit is beyond Python or SQL or Java or whatever particular implementation. It's for the SDKs, the domain model and the approach to data analysis and data science we do. So I vote for not restricting to a particular technology stack, the slogan.
I mean, in this case, it's like not technology. Yeah, it's the language that people can use in order. But I totally agree with you. I think we can somewhere mention that it's Python and SQL, but I don't think that it needs.
Definitely useful in the tags, because I think a lot of people are looking using these keywords to look up the project in the first place. So I believe it's quite useful to include the technology stack we have presently. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I put some ideas that I have now. At the moment, we have stopped building and managing data pipelines with SQL or Python, and kind of this managing then represents the the server, VDK server, which I don't think is really clear. But yeah, let's say I can read these ideas, and then you can tell me what you think. And then data pipelines covering full data ops lifecycle. I think this is cool because it represents more like the server part of the data pipelines, like part that we're doing. So kind of makes sense to me, but I don't know if it also makes sense to you. Yeah, then here this is the same, just like mentioning Kubernetes particularly or on the cloud. I think these someone added, maybe it was, yeah, I don't know who it was, but build, run, and manage your data jobs, automate and abstract the data and DevOps cycle, automate and abstract the data journey and the DevOps cycle. So yeah, any feedback.
I think one thing I'd like to clarify is, do we want this to be more so catchy, or do we want it to be a more so an accurate description of what VDK does?
If it's accurate, it's the best. I think, yeah, being accurate is the way, because
We don't want it to be too accurate though, because what we, so for example, the building and managing your data pipelines with Python or SQL on the cloud or Kubernetes, that's accurate, but it's very verbose. I don't know if that works well as a catchphrase.
yeah. So I think we need like a balance. We need to balance this this out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can do a we can make like a Google form thing. Yeah, where people can submit possible catchphrases and then we can vote on them.
When I did this last time, I had 2 votes or 3 votes, maybe from the whole team, but I mean, I can do it, you know. Anyway, but I was just thinking that if we discuss now, it's just like it can move me a little bit forward to, because I'm going to discuss it also tomorrow with another part of the team who is not here. So I'm just curious really about your opinion of, for example, from these ideas, which one you feel like is the best now? Or maybe just give me another one.
I like the 4th one, although I would change it a little bit. I would prefer to be build, run, and manage your data pipelines, not your data jobs, because data pipeline seems to be, I guess, a keyword that gets recognized a lot, whereas a data job is something that is specific to VDK. But yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, this sounds good.
And I think we hit all of we hit the VDK, the SDK with the build part, and then run hits both the CLI and the control service, and manage hits the control service. So we kind of hit all components of VDK.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
And then we slot in a keyword there as well.
Yeah, maybe we can add one more option. Let me try it. So build, run, and manage your data pipelines on the cloud. Maybe you can add this also, and maybe we can vote.
But if we put it like that, isn't it like, how can I say it? It sounds like it's only on the cloud, while you can do it locally as well. Because like if you say build, run, and manage your data pipelines on the cloud, it's like you can only do it in the cloud. It sounds like it's for me.
Yeah.
Maybe, but also having the catchword like cloud, I believe is so basically, as we said, there should be kind of a balance between being too verbose and adding here and there some catchwords. So
I think maybe we can say locally or on the cloud, although that might be
it's
That's gonna be.
Can we
verbose.
use deploy? But I don't know.
Well,
we could.
Instead of what, like, or should I just add it also?
Build, run, deploy, and manage.
No, it's too many words. Okay. But do we all agree that this is kind of nice? I personally, just kind of feel like this is very descriptive, and manage, it's covering. Yeah, I think I almost feel like at the moment it can be part as it is, and then we can figure out maybe how to, or do we want to have the cloud there?
And or locally, maybe we should add develop, build, run, and manage your data pipelines. since the SDK is used for, like software development kit. It's provides a framework of
Actually, yeah, develop can replace the word build, I think. Okay. Okay, so from here, yeah, I can actually create some kind of a form, and then we can vote. But yeah, then I will maybe ping everyone. So yeah, be ready for that. Yeah, and I hope that you have an opinion. Okay.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't have anything to add.
If there is anything to add.
Yeah, Gita, maybe you can make the form in a bit more open format. So basically not give us the option to vote only for one, but maybe to vote for 2 or 3 and giving some numbers. For example, you like the most whatever, number 1, so you give it 3 points. Your next option is number whatever 3, you give it 2 points or something. Like yeah,
I think it's called rank choice.
Yes, kind of rank.
Yeah, okay, I will do that.
I don't know, how do you measure if something is appealing to the person it's meant for? It's meant for data scientists and data devils.
That's, I think, another question that we need to solve at some point, because we haven't figured out. And I think we will actually know better when we have more users like giving us feedback, because we have some people who have used and used VDK, and we don't know actually. We haven't spoke with them, I think, that much or not at all. So I think it would be really useful to get more and more people giving us some feedback. And yeah, then we will find out actually, because I think we need to kind of follow where it leads, because yeah, it's just going to be interesting to find out who eventually uses it, because sometimes the product, I think with product it's like that, you are creating it for something, but then eventually it has its own life and its own yeah, somehow evolution of who's using it and so on. So we can, I mean, we can try to target people, but I think eventually it's going to find its own audience, as I see it.
I have another question, because I was doing the research for similar project as VDK, and like I have noticed that in this about section they always put framework in it, and should we put it here? Like for Kedro, it is a Python framework for creating maintainable and modular data science. Dexter is an orchestration platform, like something like that. Should we add the framework word or not?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, instead of using the word manage, it should have been orchestrate, maybe, because it's more that, like, yeah, well, like, I don't really know. I would have thought, I actually liked the original description where it said that if you're going for concise, like manage, I feel like the current one is extremely generic, where it's, and like one of the kind of benefits of this is that it's really modular, so you can connect to many different data sources. But I don't know how you incorporate that information in to 4 or 5 words.
I don't know, maybe Gabriel or Riva, you can say, do you believe that orchestrate is something that is describing well?
Maybe Gabriel has more view on that, since it's something he actually Currently it does.
It might be good. I'm not sure how to answer. I think orchestrate is somewhat of a buzzword where no one in the market really knows what it means. And people throw it around randomly. That's my impression of it. But it might be good to include it, yeah. I'm not sure. I guess the question is how many people would Google something like the word orchestrate when they're looking for something like our project?
Yeah, that's a good question. But I think it's actually, it is more self-explanatory maybe than manage, in my opinion. I have some feeling what is orchestrate, and yeah, somehow for me it fits.
Yeah, manage is kind of similar. Manage is a very vague word. We can't really include the kinds of things we're talking about because that would be way too verbose. So yeah.
Sorry, Gabby, in your opinion, what does manage include that orchestrate doesn't include?
Well, I guess orchestrate to me personally points more towards the actual it makes me think of technologies like Kubernetes, for example, whereas manage is more kind of vague and amorphous. In our case, we point to things like monitoring and logging and etc., scheduling and so forth. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think that manage points towards more concepts, but at the same time, it's more vague. So orchestrate might be good.
Okay, I think this was very nice. So yeah, I kind of have something, and I wanted to exactly get your opinion on this. So yeah, because I'm talking to other people about this all the time, so kind of was very curious. But yeah, thank you. And yeah, our hour is almost done. So any final words from someone if you have something to say? Otherwise, yeah, thank you for joining. It was nice to see you. So
Thank you.
next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.